Hey friends, welcome to your week 20 foundations class. This week we will start doing classes that are more well-rounded and less themed on one specific topic. So we're going to do a release work, a breathing or back or posture, something for the core, something for the pelvic floor, something for your hips and glutes, and then something standing and functional or functional. For today's class, here are the things you will need: a pillow or bolster, a ball if you have it. If not, you can just squish your towel roll. We're just gonna create pressure through our arms. A towel roll or folded up blanket or pillowcase. A block. If you don't have the block, you can use the bolster, and then some sort of band. So hopefully by this point you know what equipment you have, how you can modify and kind of multitask if you don't have all these items. All right, today let's get started in a seat for our release work. So whatever seat is comfortable. If you wanna cross your legs or kneel, that's totally fine too. And we're just gonna do some skin rolling along our side body and ribs. So if you have a sports bra, kind of hike it up, or you can pull your pants down lower. And for skin rolling, you're just rolling your skin between your thumb and then between your other four fingers. If you haven't done this before, you might have a few tender spots. I haven't done this in a while, but you're just picking your skin up away kind of from like the fascial layers underneath it, or stretching the fascial layers. And you're going up and down your side body, taking some nice deep breaths while you do it. You can also do this in the shower. All right, from the side body, let's go a little bit anteriorly, so a little bit towards the front. Ooh, a little tender. A couple times up and down over here. So a lot of times this can help us take those bigger 360-degree breaths. Good, and if you can kind of reach back posteriorly, so towards your back body, starting down almost at your pelvic bone, that iliac crest, and we're working our way up. A little bit harder to reach. Get up underneath your sports bra. I'm gonna go up and down a couple times here. You can take a big chunk and kind of roll it up the whole way, or you can take these little kneading-like motions. Good, okay. Let's move to the other side. Again, find what seat is comfortable for you. Make your skin available with whatever clothing you're wearing, and we'll start straight on the side body. So going from your hip bone up towards your armpit. My toe is cramping. There's also, apparently, I haven't tried them or looked them up, but something online called cellulite cups, which the teacher and instructor I learned from says don't use them for cellulite, but use them for this purpose. They kind of pick up the skin and you can roll it, but I think your hands work just fine. Also, cellulite is normal for 98% of the population. Okay, now we're gonna come a little bit in towards our belly button. Still up and down those ribs. Let's go one more. Deep, full breaths while you're doing it. Finish that one up and then slide back towards your back body. Little harder to reach, maybe modify your method, but just find whatever works for you. And hopefully over time can come a little bit more mobile and less tender. One more here. All right. Next, we're gonna move on to our breathing or back or postural exercise. So grab your pillow if you have it, or bolster, or roll up a blanket. We're gonna place that underneath our right side waist. So where this part of your body dips in, and then we're draping our body over top of it. Rest your head either on a pillow or on your right bicep. And then we're gonna press out through our left heel, straightening our left leg. Just take some big breaths into your left lung in this natural side bending posture. You could also roll the bolster up onto its kind of higher setting or stack more pillows if you feel more open here for more of a banana arc rainbow shape. And then to increase the sensation, stretch your left arm overhead. So since we just did that skin rolling, let's utilize that space we made with some good breaths. Thinking about sending that air in through your nose and then into the side body, but also the front of the ribs and the back of the ribs that we worked on. Couple more full breaths. Maybe press out through your left heel and your left palm, stretching along the lat of your left side. One more big inhale. Exhale, release. Slowly come back up through center and we'll switch sides. Find whatever height surface works for you. I kind of like to stack it higher and really get a nice side stretch. So left knee is bent, just for balance support. Left arm is supporting your left ear. And then we press out straight through our right leg, drape our body over, and then stretch long through your right arm if you want to add that. (360-degree breaths. Obviously your left side will be a little bit more restricted, but still think it's a good kind of exercise to try to breathe out against the pressure of the bolster. Strengthens your respiratory muscles, but then especially think about breathing through the right side where it's nice and open. Couple more cycles. Good. Release when you're ready, and then come to lay on your back. If you have a towel roll, place it underneath your low back. If you don't, it's not the end of the world. But it's nice to kind of maintain that nice spinal curve for this exercise. So roll it up, place it underneath your low back, and lay on down. If you're worried about laying on your back, if you have any funky symptoms like lightheadedness or just like feeling that it isn't right, skip this. But latest research shows that it's okay, at least if you're just doing this for brief periods of time for exercise. Okay, grab your ball if you have it as well. If you don't, just use something squishy. We're gonna draw our left knee in towards our body, planting our left foot down, and then extending long through our right leg. Balls between your palms, take a big breath in here. On an exhale, release all the air out, engage your pelvic floor, engage your core, and then we're gonna press our hands into the ball as we draw our right knee in. So our heel is hovering off the mat. Use the full exhale to then straighten back out. Inhale, release the pressure on the ball. Take a big breath in. When we exhale, we empty all the air out of our lungs. We think about drawing our lower ribs and pelvis together, tightening across that lower TA, actually all the TAs. So creating that firm corset type muscle contraction without just pulling in at the belly button. So our exhale is that core and that pelvic floor, and then drawing right knee in towards your body, and then out again. Inhale, release, drop your right foot. Exhale, push in towards the ball. Everything engages. Pelvis is nice and stable as we curl our right heel in. Inhale, release. Exhale, contract. Draw in. Release out. Inhale, let it go. Let's do 3 more. You could take a little peek one of these rounds and make sure you're not tipping your pelvis one side to another. You could take a peek down at your core to make sure you don't see any bulging through the middle. Last one. Good, and we'll switch sides. Left leg straightens, right knee bends. Big breath into the back body, into the chest, into the belly. Exhale, push against the ball or something squishy. And draw your core in. Pelvic floor contracts, and then left knee bends. Our left foot is hovering, or you could place it on a fabric that would slide against the floor. Inhale, release. Exhale, contract. You could do a slight tuck of your chin towards your chest. That can sometimes help activate your anterior core muscles. Inhale, let go. Drop your left foot. Exhale, push together. Core, pelvic floor, left knee into chest. Inhale. Exhale, push, contract, slide left heel in. Use the whole length of your exhale to straighten it back out. 3 more on your own. Last one, big breath in. Exhale, engage your core, pelvic floor, push your hands together. Nice, solid, stable midline as you move through your left leg. Good. All right. You don't need your ball anymore. You don't need your towel roll unless you don't have a block, in which case use your towel roll. And we are going to grab our block and place it underneath one knee. So we're on hands and knees, quadruped, tabletop, but you should feel like your right hip is kind of jutting up into the sky. And have your block on the lowest setting. Good. From here, this is a good kind of asymmetric, so one-sided posterior backwards pelvic floor release. So on an inhale, we're going to shift our hips back towards our heels. Breathe into your back pockets, and then exhale, gently shift forward. A couple rounds like this, big breath in. If the shifting back makes you lose your connection with your pelvic floor, skip that. We're just thinking about breathing in between your sit bones, okay? Exhale, gently rock forward. Inhale into your back pockets. Maybe especially on that right side. Exhale, gentle release. Now, if you want to add on, you could extend your left leg out straight to the side. So grounding down through left big toe, but also sealing our left pinky toe down. And we inhale here. Right toes are tucked, we rock back. Breathe into the pelvic floor in your left groin now, left adductor. Exhale, gentle rock forward. Inhale. Exhale. You don't have to go at my pace, do whatever feels good for you. And if you wanted to add, since we're releasing our pelvic floor, it can be healthy to follow it with a contraction. So if you wanted to inhale to release and then exhale, do a Kegel, so a pelvic floor contraction, that's an option too. We'll do 3 of those. So we inhale to rock back. Exhale as you lean forward. Maybe you think about all those cues, so picking up a blueberry with your vagina, nodding your clitoris, pretending you had to hold gas in. Those will kind of address all the parts of your pelvic floor. So we close those openings and then we lift up like there's a sling or a hammock supporting and we're lifting. Whatever of those cues help for you. 2 more, inhale to release. Exhale, close the openings and lift everything up and in. One more time. Good, we'll switch sides. Place the block underneath your left knee. And we'll start with both knees grounded. And just kind of feel it out. This might be a good stretch for your glute. I feel that on the left side here today. All 10 toes are tucked for support. And then we inhale, maybe shift back a couple inches, breathe into the back left pocket. Exhale, gentle rock forward. Good. Inhale, release, deep breaths. You should feel a gentle, gentle pressure on the bottom of your pelvic floor. Not like we're holding our breath and pushing out, but just that our breath is softly expanding into that space. One more here. Inhale to rock back. Exhale, shift forward. If you want to add on, we're going to straighten our right leg out to the right side, grounding down through big toe and pinky. Left toes are tucked. Inhale to rock back. Breathe into the pelvic floor and the right inner thigh. Exhale forward. Don't add the pelvic floor yet. Let's kind of feel this out for a couple reps. Inhale to lean back, breathe into the space between your sit bones. Good, exhale to shift forward. One more time here. Good, stay in this position or with the right knee bent underneath you, we're gonna add the pelvic floor contraction. So on the inhale, we release. On the exhale, we close the openings and lift everything up and in. Again, if the rocking confuses you, just stay put. Inhale, between your sit bones. Exhale, close all 3 openings. And then lift everything up and into your body. So we have our urethra, our vagina, and our rectum. Those are the openings I'm talking about. One more breath here. Last contraction. Good. And sometimes we can't contract those pelvic floor muscles until we work on releasing them a little bit. Because like I've said before, if you're always tight, 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 like my bicep here, I can't really contract much more until I learn how to lengthen first. So that's why we do both. Okay, let's do a glute strengthener. We're gonna do bridges today. So come to lay on your back again. And it's good to work one set at a time because sometimes one side of your pelvic floor can be tighter than the other. All right, so feet plant underneath your knees. Kneecaps are pointing up to the sky. I'm gonna turn so I see when my camera shuts off because it shuts off mysteriously. Okay, from here, So we talked about pelvic alignment, trying to keep our fingers on our ASIS, our hip bone, and our thumbs on our lower ribs, and kind of finding where you feel a neutral pelvis. So not letting that distance decrease or increase as you move through your rep. A lot of people's posture is in this sway back, arched position, lordosis, and you lose a lot of core engagement. You can have low back pain with this. Some other people like to round and tuck under a lot and clench their glutes constantly. Neither of these is ideal, so let's try to find a happy medium where we do have that little bit of curve underneath the low back, but we're not really arching. And if you wanted to place your hands on your ribs and pelvis to make sure that that stays pretty neutral throughout, or you could also record yourself. Big breath in here. Exhale, we're gonna push down through our heels and lift our hips up to the sky. Engage through the glutes and hamstrings. Good, inhale, lower, just a couple warm-up breaths here. Exhale, push down through the soles of your feet, lift your hips high. If anything, inhale, release. Think about pulling your tailbone underneath you just slightly as you move up. Because tendency is for us to kind of create that arc. Good, one more inhale to release. On this last one, we're gonna hold at the top. Exhale, push down through your feet, lift your hip bones high. Find that good pelvic alignment. Put your hands on your glutes, make sure your glutes are engaged, make sure your hamstrings are engaged, and we're breathing here. Maybe feel your low back. Of course, it will engage slightly, but we want glutes to be doing most of the work here. Try to hold the sustained contraction for 3 more breaths. Squeeze your right butt cheek, squeeze your left butt cheek, make sure they're squeezing equally. For 2. And 1, release down. Release your butt cheeks. And we'll do another rep where we add some marching in. So if those felt pretty easy for you, we are going to then shift our weight onto one foot and march the other knee up. Things to keep in mind is, again, that you don't compensate by really over-engaging your low back muscles, and also that your pelvis, so these hip bones here, stay nice and stable. Tendency is for one of them to drop, especially when you take the weight off of that side. Okay, so big breath in to prepare. Exhale, push down through your feet, bridge up. Good. You might walk your feet in just a little bit more narrow, and then shift your weight into your left foot. March your right knee up high. Take a peek, hip points are even. Release back down. Shift your weight into your right foot. Left knee lifts up. Release back down, hips to the ground. Breathe in here. Exhale to contract and lift. Inhale here. Exhale, weight goes into your left foot. Pull your right knee up into your chest. Press down through your left heel, good. Lower right leg, shift your weight into your right foot. Hips are nice and even, and we lift left knee up to the sky. Release down, hips to the mat. Let's do 2 more. Big breath in to prepare. Exhale, find your bridge. Inhale. Exhale, weight in your left foot, march your right knee up. Weight in your right foot, march your left knee up. Inhale to lower and release. Exhale, bridge up. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, weight in the left foot. Core is also really engaged here. Hip flexors as we march right knee. Right foot drops. Tuck pelvis under, we march left knee. And inhale to release. You might notice one side was a lot harder or easier based on glute strength. So if you find that one side is harder, do double reps on that side. So if you feel weaker on the right, do 2 reps for every 1 rep on the left. Okay, last exercise. Grab your band, and I'm going to turn so I find something to secure it on. Okay, so I like to hook my band on the opposite, or on the other side of the door on the doorknob, and then close the door if you can. And we are going to do paloff presses. Let's see if you can see me. Yeah. All right, you could bring a towel roll underneath your knees or move your mat over. And we're gonna do half kneeling today, paloff presses. So let's ground our right knee down. Our left foot is in front of us, bent at 90 degrees. Band is coming from the right side. And then scoot out so that you have a little bit of tension on the band. There we go. So 2 hands are holding the band. You can interlace your fingers, just make sure you're not clenching so much that your neck gets super tight. Thumbs can come to heart center. We take a big breath in here, 360 degrees, pelvis is aligned. On an exhale, we're pressing the band out, straightening our arms. Inhale, hands back to body. Exhale, knit your lower ribs in, pull your pelvic floor and lower core up and in, straighten your arms. Inhale to release. To make this harder, you would keep scooting further and further away, or get a thicker band with more resistance. Inhale here, pelvis and shoulders are aligned forward. Exhale, lower ribs knit in, lower core, pelvic floor engaged, we straighten out. Inhale back to body, release. Exhale, contract, press out. So a ton of anti-rotational movement happening here through the obliques and through the core. Let's do 5 more. We're gonna do 10 on each side. Couple of cues here is you could place your hands on your low back and just make sure you're not arching and really over contracting your paraspinals, the muscles around your spine. And to do this, we could also think about pulling our left heel back and our right knee forward. That will engage hamstrings, inner thighs, kind of pull our pelvis in good, strong alignment here so that we're not splaying out. So pulling left hamstring back, right hip flexor and core forward. Breathe in, I think we have 4 more. Breathe out to press. Breathe in, release. Breathe out to press. Inhale, release, full breath. Exhale, contract, straighten your arms, then bring them back into body. Neck is soft, jaw is soft. 1 more. Good. Now I'm gonna leave my band where it is and we're just gonna switch sides. I'm gonna see kind of where I show up on here. We're gonna hope you can see me. Okay. So now right knee is grounded, left foot is out, left knee is grounded, right foot is out, right knee is bent at 90 degrees. Band is coming from the left side. Okay. So find your alignment, stacking shoulders over pelvis. Think about drawing right heel back, left hip forward, and just feeling a little bit of squishiness through the low back muscles. I'm gonna scoot forward a little bit. All right. Soft interlace of your fingers, soft grip on the band so that we're not overusing our neck and trapping shoulders. Inhale here. Exhale. Engage everything. Pull pelvis, pelvic floor together, core together, and then we straighten our arms. Inhale, hands back to body, release. Exhale, pull everything into midline as your arms straighten out in front of you. Inhale, release. Exhale, lower ribs knit in. Space between your pelvic bones tightens, straighten out. If you need to make it harder, scoot out a couple inches. Inhale. Exhale. Good, I feel a little more tension here, so the band is really wanting to pull me this way, and I'm using everything to keep me straight. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, release, hands to heart. Let's do 4 more. Exhale, contract everything. Pull both sides of your pelvis together. Straighten your arms. Use that whole exhale for the contraction. Inhale back to center. Exhale, move through your rep. Good. 2 more. Last one, inhale to release, and exhale, contract. Good. All right, I'm gonna turn you back to the center. Here we are. Okay, so that is the end of our class today, our foundations class. I kind of like the style of one move in each category. I feel like that was well-rounded. Again, if you feel like one side is stronger or weaker, do double reps on the weaker side of that paloff press as well. Go ahead and move through these movements again, either one more time today or later in the week, just so you get a firm grasp on them and they become kind of second nature. But thank you for being here for this boring but important stuff. I hope you find that it's benefiting you, and I'll see you next time.